Hey, Sean, sorry for the clickbait title, but it's true. You're probably looking at purchasing the wrong type of light, or you've already purchased the wrong type of light for a lot of what you'll end up doing in video production. And to step back quickly, there's two ways you can approach lighting in video production. You can get, Aputure, Hive, RE Sky Panels, Dracast. You can get good lights, good video specific lights. Or you can do like the DIY, get some light bulbs, put them in a fixture from Home Depot and throw up a shower curtain. There's that way to save money. This isn't about that. This isn't showing up. You can't, if you're doing fun, independent film projects where you're just doing this for a hobby, that kind of stuff is awesome. But you can't show up to a client meeting with a shower curtain and some stuff you got at Home Depot because you won't get paid what you need to be paid to make a career out of this if you do that. There's expectations. And so this is about why these lights may not be best for you. And it comes down to one word, and that is hard. All of these lights, all of the pro lights, the 120D, the 300D, any of your any single source light is a hard light source. And if you're doing anything on the corporate side of things, where you're doing interviews, where you're doing stuff on location, where you're representing other companies, the first thing you do to every one of these lights is soften it. You get out a light dome mini, a lantern, you put up a 4x4, an 8x8, a 12x12. The first thing you do with all of these lights is soften it so that when it hits somebody, it's not the harshest light in the world and it's not, crazy shadows and stuff like that. And so if the first thing you do to any of these lights is always soften it, why are you buying a hard light? Let me quickly explain how I got here. I love my Aputure 120D and my 300D. They're both fantastic lights, but both of them independently broke within about 2 weeks of each other. And while I was waiting for parts and one's still waiting to be fixed, I've had to rent lights, and I ended up buying some lights so that I could stop renting lights while I'm waiting for these weeks when my lights aren't with me. And what I ended up borrowing and then buying was Quasar LED tubes. Now, a Quasar LED tube is not a cheap DIY, something you can find on Amazon. Quasar Science is a fantastic company that makes lights that are used in music videos and Super Bowl commercials and all sorts of things. They make rainbow LED, these tubes that can be any color, any saturation that you can imagine. They make bicolor LED tubes. They make tubes that can dim up and down. But one of the best things they make are these. This is their 2-foot daylight LED Quasar, and it's dimmable. And for $45, this thing comes with a little power cable that you need to actually connect it, but you can fit 4 of these in like a Kino fixture, and a lot of people do to make a big source light. But for $45, you get this tube with a little thing, and you can just plug it in. They don't even have a third prong, so you can plug them into literally any socket. And man, they're so bright. And not only are they bright, but they're dimmable. And so with a $10 dimmer you can get from Amazon, you can control this to any intensity you want. You can put it anywhere. And for me, that was huge because, again, the first thing I would do on set is put up my hard lights and then add diffusion to soften them. These are already soft sources, but you can still put diffusion up in front of them. You can still shape them like you would any other light. But the other great thing about these is they're so light. They're so light that right now my hair light, my shoulder light, my background light is just one of these up on a stand. And I don't need sandbags to hold this down, and it's not going to risk falling on anyone. And a little Mayfer clamp is all that it took to hold it up. And then the key light is another one of these bulbs, a single bulb aimed at me from about 6 feet away on a little thing that I did DIY with some clips, but they're real bulbs in there doing a real good job, and I only have one of them on. And so I can attach 4 of them to that plate. But what I have set up right now is a single one as my key, and then a single one as my hair light. And if you spend $1,100 on a 300D or $750 on a 120D, it's still a single light temperature. You don't get to fade that from tungsten to daylight, which is the drawback to the $45 ones. They make a $75 one that can go bicolor between tungsten and daylight, and then they make $500 ones that can be any color you can imagine. But for $250, you can get 4 of these and all the clamps and hardware you need to connect them. And aside from having, you can put all four of them together and make a killer, soft, bright key light. Or depending on your setup, take one of them off, turn it into a hair light. Take one of them off, turn it into a fill light, and use the other two as the key. You can do so much with these, and it's crazy to me. I feel like a fool that I've been doing this professionally for as long as I have, and I didn't just have some of these. I have a lot of good lights. Again, I've got two big Aputure lights that I use all the time, and that's like $2,000 worth of light, and it's still just two lights that I have to soften with other modifiers that cost money that have to fit on these things with a Bowens mount. It makes so much sense to use these and get a $10 dimmer from Amazon, and you can have a really, really flexible, professional, high quality lighting setup. Because again, these aren't knockoff LEDs. This is Quasar Science. The CRI on these lights is as high as any of the other professional companies. It's such a good quality light, and it's $45. So I encourage you, if you're thinking about spending a bunch of money and really like, hey, I'm gonna get serious with my light and I'm gonna get, one of these good lights that I keep seeing these ads for and that keep being used in every YouTuber's video that I watch, before you spend $1,000 on a light and the modifiers and all the stuff you'll need, maybe spend $90. Get two of these and see how far it'll get you, because it's gotten me further than I thought it would, and to the point where I'm saying, why did I not do this before? So this whole thing was prompted by somebody asked me the other day, they're like, hey, I'm saving up for 300D, or should I just get a 120D? And I was like, man, before you spend that much money, look at getting a handful of Quasars and see what you can't do with them. Because again, unless you're doing something really, really specific and cinematic or independent filmy, odds are there's going to be a whole lot you can accomplish with just a handful of Quasars. If you have any thoughts, if you've tried these, if you've got other things you've done with them that are awesome, let me know in the comments or shoot me a message, because, yeah, these things are just awesome. And I don't know if I'm late to the game or what, but I don't know why I don't see more of these in every YouTuber's arsenal. But, yeah, get yourself some Quasars. Thanks for watching. See you later.